Good morning. This is MetLoop meteorologist Dave Elliott with your weather outlook for Friday, January the 6th, 2017. Starting out with the radar loop for the last hour or so, we're watching a pretty messy day setting up here, especially for the southeastern U.S. From about western North Carolina and Virginia down to Oklahoma and into eastern New Mexico, we're seeing snow showers. Down just south of that, however, we've got a narrow band of ice and freezing rain that's going to be popping up throughout the day today, causing some problems. And then down south of that, it is all rain and thunderstorm activity going on at the moment. And switching over to the temperature map, we're seeing some relatively cold temperatures here in the south. We're looking at temperatures in the 40s and 50s for the panhandle of Florida. However, the further north you go, the colder it gets. And by the time you get up into the northern plain states, we're still seeing some bitterly cold temperatures up through that area with minus 20s, not uncommon, especially in Minnesota and through the Dakotas and into Montana. And if you switch that over to the wind chills, it gets even worse. You can see wind chill values right now, minus 35 up in northern Minnesota, and then minus teens and minus 20s, really widespread for that area. So please stay safe and dress warmly. For today's outlook, as I mentioned, it's going to be messy, especially if you're in the southern and eastern portions of the U.S. today. As that system intensifies and then moves off to the northeast, it's going to take a lot of this messy weather with it. And with a lot of available moisture, it's going to dump a lot of snowfall from Virginia all the way down through western North Carolina. We could see a pretty significant amount throughout the day today. Additionally, as I mentioned before, the way the atmosphere is set up right now, we're primed for some ice and some freezing rain from the Atlanta area all the way back into eastern Texas. And then just south of that, we are looking for a slight chance for some severe thunderstorms out ahead of the system. If we switch over to the outlook for ice accumulation today, what we're seeing is a pretty good shot at some ice on the ground in eastern North Carolina and then east central Georgia all the way back into Louisiana. If you're in those areas, please be safe. It may not be a huge amount of ice, but it really doesn't take much to get those roads slick and slippery and cause car accidents and just general problems. So please stay safe. And if we switch over to the snowfall forecast here for the next 24 hours, we're seeing some pretty high amounts, especially in upstate South Carolina through North Carolina and into eastern and southern Virginia. This orange area in here is looking upwards of 6 inches here over the next 24 hours until through about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we're actually going to see some snowfall as far south as just south of Jackson, Mississippi. So these areas aren't particularly used to snowfall, so please just keep an eye out and stay safe. And then by tomorrow, looking at the snowfall outlook, we expect to see everything shift off the east coast. So this will be more towards tomorrow morning time frame. We'll still see some snow lingering through the morning hours tomorrow for eastern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. And again, looking out west, we do expect to see some pretty high rainfall totals and snowfall totals here out in California, especially in the northern areas and into the Sierras as they get set up in the term you may have been hearing recently called an atmospheric river, where there's just tons of moisture pumped into the area. So here over the next 24 hours, we could see rainfall starting to enter into California, but then by tomorrow, we're going to see much more rainfall and snowfall across the mountains and into the valleys and along the coast. So please stay safe if you're out there.